The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out.
Good evening, everyone. We are here for the FG PC Super Series. Looking for a good race here at the Daytona International Speedway. My name is Jacob Fescanen, here to bring you all of the action. We've got a full grid of cars. Looks like there's 44 out there tonight, all attempting to finish in one of the top 5 spots to make some money tonight. We are running the Xfinity cars out here, and we've got a good one for you. Let's take a look at the grid as everybody gets onto the track. Pull that up in just 1 second. I'm going to be starting off tonight with the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer, the second in first. On the outside of him is going to be the 04 of Matthew Lee. The 9 of Matthew Baker is rolling off in third. Starting fourth is the 57 of Max Brady. The 31 of Kevin Clark is rolling off in fifth. 41 of Caden Roach is rolling off in sixth tonight. Starting at seventh is the 19 of Buddy Pitts, 21 of Jonathan Byram is rolling off in 8th, 39 of Mark Jenkins rolling off 9th, 64 of Thomas Teagan rolling off 10th, 12 of Michael Doane in 11th, Dalton Randolph rolling off in 12th in the 7 car, 15 of Dylan Wallace is rolling off in 13th, Chris Summers, Sorry about that. Chris Summers in the 24 rolling off 14th. Tyler, the weapon Evans in the 77 rolling off in 15th. 17 is Steven Sinopius rolling off in 16th. Dalton McKinney in the 5 is rolling off 17th. Greg Wood Jr. in the 67 rolling off 18th. Josh Bondwell in the 56, rolling off 19th. Rylan Fascinato in the 69s, rolling off 20th. David Sheath, the 06, 21st. Stephen Boyton, the 22 in 22nd. Excuse me, 23. Brian Terry in the 13s, rolling off in 23rd. And Brian White in the 27, rolling off 24th. Moving on back, we've got the 43 of Stanley Jr. rolling off 25th. Sean Powers in the 146 rolling off 26th. Aaron Roth in the 34 rolling off 27th. Colton Malone in the 32 rolling off in 28th. 29th will be Larry McDonald in the 37. 30th will be the 38 of Chad Ross. The 1 of Christopher McCullough's rolling off in 31st. Derek Fulton in the 36 is rolling off 32nd. 33rd will be Braxton DeWeese. The 03 in 34th will be Chad Ross. Or 38, excuse me. Christopher McCullough in the 1s rolling off 35th. And Kenneth McCullough, excuse me, Daryl Young is going to be 35th in the 26. Kenneth McCullough in the 03 will be in 36. Moving on back through, we've got John Mollahan in the 30. He's rolling off 37th. 38th is going to be James East in the 355. 39th is going to be the 42 of Darius Sells. 40th will be the 555 of Brian Darlington. 42nd will be, or excuse me, 39th was Stephen Page. 41st was Jarrett Sells. Sorry about that. Joey Allen in the 33s rolling off 42nd, and we will finish the grid out with Ray Holman and Ryan Rittenauer. They are live and going. Green flag has been dropped. Got 80 laps. Should be showing lap 1. Sorry about that. But they are green and running 2x2 all the way through turn 1. We're going to focus on the battle for the lead up front right now. Matthew Lee on the inside, Max Brady on the outside. Both lanes getting a good push from cars behind. You can bump a little bit in these cars, but you want to be very cautious about how you do it. You can see 2x2, 2 rows deep up in the front, a little bit of a breakaway, still 2x2 behind them as the field comes around to complete the first lap. Green so far, clean start by everybody. We have got them stacked 2x2. It is iRacing controlled cautions for tonight, so very easily could have an incident that clears itself off the track that we don't have anything thrown for, but everybody's running right now. Looks like only a few cars are not being scored. But a great battle up front, as you can see, 2x2 all the way back. They are on lap 3 of 80 now. Field's pretty content to run 2x2 for the most part. You may see a couple guys ducking out as they try to go, but it seems like everybody recognizes 80 laps is still a long way to go, so they are content to keep themselves side by side. You can see a good battle between the 04 of Matthew Lee and the 9 of Matthew Baker there. Lots of action up the front. We're going to keep it up here as they go side by side. 9 of Matthew Baker, the 31 of Kevin Clark are locked together, and the 04 of Matthew Lee and the 57 of Matthew Brady, or Max Brady, are locked together. Those 4 have been tied together the whole time. Whole field really has been 2x2. A few gaps back through the rows as they go, but overall it is pretty clean for the most part. I'm very impressed with these drivers. This many drivers out here able to keep it 2x2 all the way. You can see as you go further back in the field, a few cars starting to get single file and make their way around. Might see a difference in strategy. Some drivers want to try to push their way up to the front, try to get ahead of all of the messes. Other ones are content to lay back and just wait this out, ride the laps, and wait for the closing laps to make their moves. You're going to see a very different strategies as the race goes. But still 2x2, multiple rows deep as they come across the line to start lap 5. Certainly a very entertaining race as neither line has been able to get an advantage. Neither car up front between the 9 of Matthew Baker and the 04 of Matthew Lee. Neither one has really been able to get an advantage and pull out. Great racing so far. Coming down the backstretch, still 2x2 all the way back. Got a few cars trying to break their way through the 19 of Buddy Pitts. Looks like he's trying to work his way up on the inside. The outside, Kevin Clark's trying to work his way up there in the 31. They are running side by side as well. Seems like everybody's kind of content to ride where they are. Find a drafting partner, somebody that they trust, they feel comfortable around, keep themselves in a safe position. Looks like the 41 of Keaton Roach looks a little bit to the outside. You may see guys kind of ducking outside occasionally as the run goes just to make sure that they can keep their engine cool when they are pushing behind as much as they are, especially up here in the front. You can tend to overheat the water temps a little bit inside the car, and that can cause you to blow the motor if you're not too careful about that. So you may see that from time to time. Getting a speed shot there as everybody comes out of turn 4 into the tri-oval. Still 2x2 almost all the way back through the field. Looks like 4 cars up front are trying to break away, but that inside row is trying to stay connected. That is the 19 of Buddy Pitts on the inside, trying to hook up to the back of the 31 of Kevin Clark. Keep himself there. He's pulling along the 39 of Mark Jenkins on the inside as well. On the outside behind the 57 of Brady, you've got the 41 of Keaton Roach, and you've got the 12 of Michael Doan. Great racing so far. You can see the 31 of Kevin Clark is locked to the back end of Matthew Baker. They're going to come by you here out of turn 4. Whole field running side by side for the most part. Few drivers in the back content to run single file and lay back a little bit, but this battle up front has been the battle of the race. Certainly great job by those 4 up front. Great turnout for the race tonight. 44 drivers, all with the hopes of being able to find their way to the front, get some money, make a little bit of dollars for their effort tonight. You can see there's 3 drivers in the back that are all content to run single file. They're pretty far back. That starts with the 3055 of James East back through the 555 of Brian Darlington. They're almost half a lap back. Battle is pretty tight. 1st through 18th on the track, all within a second. And if you go back to the 33 spots of Darrell Young, they are all within 3 seconds of each other. Certainly some drivers trying to make their moves up to the front. We've got the 42 of Darius Sells as your biggest mover right now, up 14 spots. Some other guys trying to make their way through as they work lap 9 of 80. Certainly can click off laps quicker when they stay green. Wasn't sure if we were going to see some impatient driving to start. Driver would be a little more anxious to try to work their way to the front and push a little bit. Seems to be pretty patient, pretty respectful. Very clean racing for Daytona so far. Guys are running super clean as they make their way out of turn 4 down the tri-oval to cross the start-finish line. Start lap 10. You can see a little bit of jumbling back there, but everybody's still pretty content to keep it 2x2 all the way. Hand back, take a look through some of the drivers through. Let's focus on the 77 Tyler Evans. You can see him on the inside there in the Pepsi car, running right ahead of the 7 Dalton Randolph in the Sinclair car. This is back for 10th on the grid. Now you will see drivers such as the 39 of Mark Jenkins looking to go below that yellow line. They are able to do that in this without any issues. Certainly cannot go down there below to advance your position, but you are able to go down there. Just all sorts of battles throughout the field as it goes side by side, 2 by 2. This is, I think, probably the longest I've seen. They are going to be working by a lap car. We're going to pan up there and see that as the lap car that is the 555 of Brian Darlington goes high. He's staying up against the wall. Oh, the 12 makes a little bit of contact with him. He's wiggling. He's in the wall trying to keep it off. We're going to stretch back, follow him through. You can see he fans out. A lot of drivers fan out below. Everybody's able to get by that cleanly. You can see him still connected to the wall, trying to work his way off. Rest of the field scatters as they try to get by him. Get back to the front. Seems like most of the field got through that. Oh, and we've got a wreck now. There is our first caution of the night. Looks like that may have been the 69 of Ryland Fascinato. So let's go take a look at that replay and see what happened there. It's going to bring out your wreckage rewind for our first caution tonight. You can see there's the 69. Oh, it looks like the 32 might have come down, drilled the 06, comes right up into the 69. The 1 gets involved in that. You see the 32 going flying through the air. There goes the 69 of Fascinato through the air as well. The 32 of Colton Malone. The 1 of Christopher McCullough in that. That was pretty brutal, but I would say to a degree where it happened. Looks like the 8 also got involved in that. That was the 8 of Josh Tart. I would say that was pretty calm by Daytona standards for what could have happened, taking out the whole field. So we're going to go back to the live shot. One second. Sorry about this. All right, sorry about that. We are working our first caution of the night. A little bit of a change up in the leaderboard. Some drivers electing to pit under that first caution. Got a couple guys that stayed out. We got the 12 of Michael Joanne, the 21 of Jonathan Byram, 23 of Stephen Boynton, 37 of Larry McDonald, and the 9 of Matthew Baker, all electing to stay out, not come in for service. Field is working, getting their 1 to go this time by. Working their way to the pace car to get girded up for the restart. Recap the top 10 for you to start. You got the 12 of Joanne on the inside of row 1 and 21 of Jonathan Byram on the outside of row 1. Inside of row 2 is 23 of Stephen Boynton, Matthew Baker in the 9 on the outside. You've got the 37 of Larry McDonald on the inside of row 3. Matthew Lee in the 04 on the outside of row 3. In the inside of row 4, 57 of Max Brady, 31 of Kevin Clark on the outside of row 4. Dalton McKinney in the 5 on the inside of row 5. And the 39 of Mark Jenkins on the outside of row 5 to cap off your top 10. I'm very impressed that this was the first caution for the evening. That was certainly a very good job by all the drivers to not have had an issue any sooner than that. Pace car will be pulling off this time as they exit turn 4. We're going to be getting restarted on lap 15. Field's going to be awaiting the drop of the green flag. You can see the pace car off. Field's going to get ready to go. And they are off and rolling. Green back on lap 15 of 80 of this FEG PC Super Series event. And you can see just like that, we've got a lead change to 21 of Jonathan Byram cutting down from the high lane going into turn 1, pulling out in front of the 12 of Michael Doan. On the outside, you've got the 9 of Matthew Baker and the 04 of Matthew Lee. They're pushing that outside line's getting a little bit of run. Lee and Baker cut down to the inside line in front of Byram. Great battle up at the front. You can see on the outside, that lane is now led by the 5 of Dalton McKinney. He's got the 12 of Doan behind him, pushing him inside. You've got Baker, Lee, Clark, and Brady all on the inside. Tyler Evans in the 77 trying to work his way up to the back of the 57 of Brady on the outside lane. He's followed there by the 56 of Josh Bondwell. Certainly a few different names up in the front than what we have seen, but great start to this second run. We've got 2x2. Again, for most of the field back, you see a couple guys looking back and forth, switching between lanes, trying to figure out which one's going to benefit them the most for whatever their agendas might be at this time. Cars go flying by out of turn 4. Come into the tri-oval. And these cars are all 2x2, 9 rows deep to start this. You've got the front 18 are all within a second, just over a second of each other. Super Speedway racing brings this close, tight, pack style racing typically. Brings a lot of excitement. You can see these guys are going to be approaching a slower car up front. May cause a little bit of an anxious moment as everybody looks to try to duck around, find their line without the draft. Cars are much slower. You can see that is the 69 of Ryan Fascinato. He's going to hold himself up against the wall. Front of the field's able to clear him without any issue. We'll see if the rest of the field's able to get by him. You see a couple cars looking to the outside and realizing into how much they're catching him. They got to duck back in. Keep it on the lead pack now as everybody works by. A few more rows of cars in this front lead group to work by the 69. They are still green. Working lap 18 of 80. Inside row still led by the 9 of Dalton McKinney. Outside row led by the 9 of Matthew Baker. Outside row led by the 5 of Dalton McKinney. We've got 57 there. 5 of Dalton McKinney jumps down to the low line. Car high, one car down low. That looks like Evans down low, one car up high in the wall. We stay green as they continue. Front 8 cars have broken away now with that little bit of a problem. So you got an 8 car pack up front, 5 cars lined up on the inside, 3 on the outside. You can see Inside line's got a little more momentum with a few more cars in it. The more cars you can get in the draft, the more momentum you can carry. But if you can stay on the outside of them, use a little what we call side drafting, where you can get close to their side of their car, change the air flowing over it, slow them down. It acts kind of like a little bit of a slingshot for your car, drags them back a little bit to allow you to propel back by them. You can see they are lined up 2 by 2 now, 4 rows deep for the front 8. Got another 4 cars behind them trying to work single file to work together to get back up there. That's going to be in their best interest, is to just hold their positions, work single file, and try to catch this front pack. The longer they run side by side, the more this front pack can break away. We're going to keep it on this front pack for now. Inside row is led by the 57 of Max Brady. Outside row led by the 5 of Dalton McKinney. You can see on the inside you've got the 57 of Brady, the 9 of Matthew Baker, that is the 04 of Matthew Lee, and the 06 of David Sheets. And just like that, the 57 of Max Brady jumps up to the high line to stop the run of Dalton McKinney in the 5. You're going to see the leaders bouncing back and forth, trying to choose whatever lane they think is running faster. Some guys may be willing to work together. Some guys might be valuing just their track position more and willing to jump to whatever lane they think is going to benefit them the most. And we've got another caution. Looks like we might have had an issue with Christopher McCullough, 37 of Larry McDonald. Let's pull that up and see what happened in our wreckage rewind replay. So you got the 37 of Larry McDonald just in front of the 15 there. Looks like the 15 is just going to come up as they exit out of turn 3, get into the 37, send him spinning right in front of the field. 15 slams the wall, collects one other with them into the wall. Whole field's trying to scatter as quickly as they can. You can see drivers taking evasive action as they get off of turn 4. One car gets slammed into. That looks like the 03 gets tagged from behind, sent down for a little bit of a spin as the 37 of McDonald sits in the middle of the track. But most of the field able to work by. That was certainly a great job by them in order to keep themselves clean and avoiding that one that easily could have turned into a worse situation. We are going to be working our second caution of the evening here on lap 21. You can see most of the field led by the 57 of Brady, going to be working their way onto pit road. I think, again, you might see a few different strategies. Some guys may elect to stay out. Others may decide to pit. We'll see how the field sorts out as they all work by, see if there are any takers to stay out. A different view as they come out of the pit lane. We'll let the field cycle through and see if there were any takers for staying out. Does not appear to be. We are going to take a look at the 355 of James East, bring him into the booth for a little in-race report, see how he's doing. And we've got the driver of the 355, James East, in here. James, how's your race going so far?
Jacob, good to talk to you, man. Good to talk to all the fans out there tuning in, supporting us. Weird to be in the car, not in the broadcast booth tonight, but a nice little surprise for what was planned for tonight. A lot of fun, man. Started off way towards the back to decide not to qualify. And I actually lost the draft at the very beginning, and I was terrified we were about to go a lap down in the 355 machine. But thankfully for me and not some of the other racers, we had that early caution, and then things have been getting pretty spicy up here at about the top 10, top 15 spot. I don't want to say a lack of give and take, but maybe just a little bit of pre-race jitters for these guys is making it pretty exciting early on.
Yeah, it certainly seems like some pretty Pretty close racing right now. Don't want to put you in a double role of driving and broadcasting at the same time, but certainly seem like you're doing a good job moving up. You've noticed a difference in pit strategies with some of the cars staying out. Do you think that paid off, or it's yet to be seen?
I don't know yet. My teammate tonight, Tyler Evans and myself, we're taking fuel both of those cautions so far just because we don't want to be the only driver stuck out there if we get a green flag run, which I don't think we're going to. But I don't want to be stuck on pit road while everybody else is out there burning laps.
I understand. Well, it looks like you're getting gridded back up, one to go, so we'll let you focus on the driving. Good luck the rest of tonight.
Awesome, Jacob. Thank you. I appreciate you. Check your Discord PMs, and I'll hope to see the rest of the guys in the victory lane later tonight.
Sounds good. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
And the field's getting gridded up. We will take a moment to get back, get the grid set up for you to restart. They are back green going. We've got the 41 of Keaton Roach up front.
Hello, user.
Hey, James, 2 seconds.
Yeah, buddy.
Where am I loading that to get that in?
Turn off your audio.
Yeah, sorry, give me 1 second.
Damn, this guy's getting crazy.
Are you watching the 41?
The guy right in front of you.
Yeah, he's... hands down.
Yeah, I need to get around him.
Alright, sorry. Remind me again what I need to do to load the right overlay. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Yeah.
You're running the Robbins Racing overlay.
Okay, so am I loading a project then, right?
Yeah.
So, let's see. Why is this not... This is not good.
Let me know if you have questions, Jake.
Yeah,
41, James.
sorry, I'm working through it right now.
Oh, you're fine.
Not good. Alright. Trying to figure out why I cannot get this to show. Like, whenever I go...
Go on the, it's not showing on OBS.
So, when I go to load the project in SDK, I've got it in the folder, and it's only showing the Robbins Racing one. It's not showing... Like, I downloaded and moved the other one to the folder, it just not... It doesn't show up for some reason.
Running all over the place.
Yeah, if it doesn't load, it doesn't load.
Just trying to see if I can do something different. Let's see if I can get to... Try something.
Are you able to load it from like your download file, like the download directory?
That's what I'm trying right now. I just redid something to see if I could get to it. Let's see if this works any better. Okay.
Ooh. Sorry, Sheets, I had to check up, buddy.
Okay, I think I got it now. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Have a good broadcast.
Oh, reckon.
Yep, here they go.
Reckon?
Sorry about all of those issues there. We got back just in time as we get a caution out on the field. This is going to be our third one for the night. Gonna get that switched over. We'll pull that up for you. I apologize for all of those issues. See if we can get a replay pulled up. Field is working their way around to catch up to the pace car. Shows first caution. This is actually the third. I apologize for that. Bit of an issue, technical issues that we had there. I apologize for what you got hurt as well. You can see most of the field is working their way in. We will get everything reset for you here. Get you caught back up. Looks like everybody's coming to pit road. A couple cars stayed out. Looks like you got the 21 of Byram that stayed out. The rest of the field is working their way back off of pit road. Lots of cars electing to pit this time by on lap 35. Again, shows first caution. This is working our third caution of the evening. 21 of Byram being scored as your leader at this time. Field's working to complete lap 36, so they'll be approaching the halfway mark shortly.
Stretch, holy shit. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, if it shows FEG, then things are probably working. No worries.
At least you didn't come in here wilding out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, we're good.
Good luck, man.
No, I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Alright, and make sure you turn your audio on back when you go to your broadcast room. Alright, see you, buddy.
Alright, we are back with you, getting the field set for the restart. That'll be coming on lap 38. Get you started with the top 5. 21 of Jonathan Byram on the inside of row 1. Matthew Baker to his outside in second. Starting third will be the 04 of Matthew Lee. 57 of Max Brady going to be outside of him. Starting fourth, Dalton McKinney in the 5 on the inside, 34 Aaron Roth on the outside. Behind him, we've got the 17 of Steven Sinopius. On the inside, Josh Bonwell in the outside there. Tyler Evans in the 77 rolling up behind him. Kevin Clark in the 31 outside him. Thomas Teagan in the 64, the inside of the next row. And Mark Jenkins is on the outside of him. Riding on board with Byram as the field works through 3 and 4, getting ready for their restart. Again, I apologize for all of those technical issues that we had. Should be good to go the rest of tonight. Be back with you. Pace car will be pulling off momentarily onto the pit lane, and the field's going to be ready to go. There is the green flag. Field is back underway, starting lap 38. Jonathan Byram getting a good lead inside row there. And just as we say that, the 04 of Matthew Lee jumps to his outside to take a push from the 9 of Matthew Baker, work his way towards the front. 2 by 2 as they come out of turn 2 to work their way onto the Daytona Super Stretch. Looking at an in-car there from the 04 of Matthew Lee as they work their way down the Super Stretch. 04 Matthew Lee works his way now down in front of Jonathan Byram in the 21. 9 of Matthew Baker leading that outside line, getting a push from the 57 of Max Brady. Looks like the 21's content to stay behind the 04 now. 04 is going to be bouncing between both lanes, trying to find whichever lane suits his line the best. 9 of Matthew Baker getting a really good shove from the 57 of Brady on the outside. He's going to work to take the lead as they go into turn 1 side by side. A little bit of blink there out of the 17 of Steven Sinopas. Most of the other drivers will be watching for that as they don't want to get too close to him, push him at the wrong time, and then have him reappear and cause a wreck that way. Back on board with the 9 of Matthew Baker as we go into turn 3. He's working that high line. You can see the 04 of Matthew Lee pulling up alongside of him. Going to switch back to Matthew Lee as they cross the stripe that time by. Fields lined up 2 by 2 for most of the way, and then some cars running single file behind them. You can see them working their way through 1 and 2. Going to follow them as they come off of the turn 2 down the back stretch. Matthew Baker getting a good push on the outside. Baker and Lee have been running side by side for the last couple of laps as they are both getting equal shoves from their respective drivers behind them. 5 of Dalton McKinney's looking a little anxious, trying to get his way up to the front. He's currently 3rd in line on the inside row behind the 21 of Jonathan Byram. Field's 2 by 2 for what appears to be about 11 rows deep as we've got 20 cars, that are all within a second of each other. So very tight pack here. Great racing by these drivers. Just after the halfway mark as they've got 40 down and 40 to go. They'll have 39 next time by. See Baker changes lanes. He gets a good shove from the 57 of Brady. Elects to drop down in front of the 04 Matthew Lee, take control of that inside line. We'll see if Brady and Roth on the outside can try to get hooked up, work their way back towards the front. But for right now, that inside line's going to have the advantage. 04 Matthew Lee certainly giving Baker a hearty push there, going out of the tri-oval into turn 1. Field is stacked up behind him. Looks like these two are trying to break away. Obviously have to be careful. Too big of a run can lead the rest of the group to come flying by as they lose touch. But they are content to lock up bumper to nose there. A 2-car draft. Try to control this field. Outside line, since Baker is pulled down in front of the inside line. Outside line's really just kind of lost a little bit of momentum. Brady's trying his best there with Roth on the outside, but They just seem to be kind of stalled out. They really can't get much closer than the 21 of Byram on the outside. They're going to be approaching a slow car the outside. I believe that's going to be the 146 of Sean Powers as they work by him. Both lanes are going to have to tuck down a little bit. Powers doing a great job staying up high. These always provide tense moments for the drivers that are in the pack as they try to work by to make sure that they get through without any contact. Any wreck can certainly collect a large majority of the field. 57 of Brady working his way up a little bit more, getting a little bit better shot from the 34 of Aaron Roth, and behind him the 56 of Josh Bonwell. Outside lines trying to give a bit of a shove, get a contention back up there with the 04 and the 9. It's going to be who can work the best with each other. So they roll off into turn number 2. Now you can see the 04 of Matthew Lee decides to jump to the high line, try to take advantage of that run that the 57 of Brady had. The 9 of Matthew Baker elects to stay on the low line there. 04 getting a really good shove from the 57. They're locked up, bumper to nose there going into turn 3. So that's going to propel the 04 of Matthew Lee to the lead momentarily. We'll see if that inside line led by Baker can get a run as they come out of turn 4. Side by side as they enter the tri-oval. Very, very, very close racing. Seen some drivers bounce around, but it seems to be pretty clean for the most part. So great job by these drivers here to bring in a very entertaining race on this Saturday night. Still nose to tail on both the inside and the outside line. 21 of Jonathan Byron trying to give the 9 of Matthew Baker a shot to the front. He's followed up by the 5 of Dalton McKinney. On the outside, you've still got the 04 of Matthew Lee, the 57 of Max Brady, and the 34 of Aaron Roth. But this 2x2 goes a good 12 to... I believe it's... it's about 11 rows, 12 rows deep. You can see all these drivers are looking to dice. Got some drivers at the back end of this trying to hang on to the pack. As soon as you lose it, it can be very tough to get back. As you heard from our in-race reporter James East earlier under the caution. Got a couple drivers swinging wide off of turn 2 as they go down the backstretch, but get it all sorted out. You can see it's a very nice, neat, orderly 2 lines formed. Multiple rows deep as they go into turn 3 and 4. Both lanes trading off momentum as to who gets going and who slows up a little bit. Just like that, we got one car swing to the outside. That was the 56 of Bonwell. He thinks better if it gets back down. A couple guys from the inside line jump up to the top to follow through. The 04 of Lee swings back down in front of the 9 of Baker. Just like that, restore the 57 and the 34 back to your front of the outside line. As they work their way around out of turn 2, coming down the back stretch. All of this at speeds well in excess of 190 miles an hour. This might be Xfinity Series cars, a little bit less power than what the Cup Series has, but they can still produce very high speeds at this track when they get lined up in the draft. Across the start-finish line to start a lap of 48 of 80. Action is non-stop as they are going. For the moment, the line on the inside led by the 04 Matthew Lee has about a car length advantage over the outside line led by the 57 of Max Brady. The 57 of Max Brady and the 34 of Aaron Roth are trying to do their best to hook up. Bonwell in the 56 is leading a push there as well. Got a 3-car lock there on the outside line. The 31 of Kevin Clark is also trying to join that. I think you're seeing some guys at the front trying to position themselves, keep themselves in the best spot for a run. Some other guys are trying to just ride. Just as we say that, the 21 of Byram jumps into pit lane. You saw him break out from the pack there. Moves the 56 of Bonwell down to the inside lane. He's going to link up behind the 9 of Baker, work his way towards the front. He's just in front of the 5 of Dalton McKinney there. But I think you're seeing the guys in the front want to try to position themselves to maintain their lead or their front running position if possible. Some other guys towards the back are content to just ride, take moves where they can, but realize that they still got over 30 laps to go. There's no reason to get too crazy yet. Moves can be made very quickly, but as I say that, we have 3 wide coming off of turn 4. You can see the 5 of McKinney on the inside. Outside there was Aaron Roth. Aaron Roth in the 34 dropping back. He's left without any drafting help. Nobody wants to pair with him. He's going to try to find a hole there to duck to that, what was the outside line, now the middle line. It was the 31 of Kevin Clark that was in the middle of that 3-wide situation there. 34 of Aaron Roth is able to slot himself back in. Looks like he slots just in front of the 77 of Tyler Evans. They are working lap 50 of 80. Good run by the 57 of Max Brady on the outside. He's being pushed by the 5 of Dalton McKinney. Dalton McKinney certainly has not been hesitant to jump in and try to lend a helping bumper when he possibly can. I think he's got some ulterior motives to that, trying to work his way to the front as well. There are some big money payouts on the line for the top 5 drivers in this, so some guys are certainly going to be thinking with their wallets, trying to make whatever moves they can, put themselves in the position to collect a great paycheck, make a good night's effort all worth it. Field comes out of turn 2, works their way down the back stretch. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, multiple rows deep. Very great racing here. The FEG PC Saturday Night Money Race. See one car diving down from the high side of the bottom. It looks like that was the 39 of Mark Jenkins. He was running the high line. Likes to run to the bottom behind McKinney. McKinney got shuffled back. He's now on the inside row there. Or excuse me, that was the 17 of Steven Sinapias. He's on the inside. 5 of McKinney's still on the outside. Field's going to be approaching a couple slower cars. Let's going to see how they are able to work around them. Can see them just in the front of the shot. In the previous shot, they are going to be working their way up against the wall. Field's going to be working down to the bottom, much as you've seen for most of the night. Great battle up front, though. Some slower traffic, that cars that have lost the draft, cars that might have sustained some damage from wrecks that are trying to do what they can to stay out, put themselves in position in case another caution comes out. 57 of Brady was trying to use one of them for a little bit of a draft. He works his way down to the bottom, leaves his partner, Dalton McKinney, for a moment, jumps back up to the high side. Field is working by the 3 slower cars. They're going to be approaching one more this time off of turn 2. Looks like one of the cars gets into the wall, and we've got a caution out. We will get you a replay momentarily there. Looks like Sean Powers might have had an issue. He was in the 146. Let's pull up the replay. Yes, you can see Sean Powers sliding there into turn number 1. Couple cars getting collected up, and that looks like that was the 25 involved. That was Ray Holman there. Sean Powers in the 146. You can see him sliding there. A couple other cars. Holman, the 23 as well, getting a little bit of a shot there. Not sure if he sustained much damage out of that. A little bit of a calamity there. 30 getting into the 20. 30 of Josh Molahan. You can see him going for a ride there in the bottom corner of the spring, getting flipped around. But yes, the 146 of Sean Powers had a bit of an issue getting going as the field was working by him, and that brings out our caution for the race. Gonna get back live. Again, this will be our 4th caution for the night. We'll see how many of the field elects to work their way onto pit road. It's like most of the field electing to stay out on this caution. Actually, just as I say that, I was incorrect about that. Most of the field working their way in, so it's led by the 04 of Matthew Lee as he works his way down the pit road. It's like it's going to be almost all the field coming in. They've been about 20 laps since their last stop. Certainly everybody coming in for fuel, set themselves up to be good to go to the rest of the end. Tires here typically are not a big issue, but they certainly can help you make moves if you need to make abrasive lane changes or try to make a quick move and follow with a lane you think is going to be going faster. So we will get the field reset as they come out of pit road. Looks like right now the 37 of Larry McDonald scored as your race leader. Looks like he was the only one to not come to pit. But while we're getting the field reset, we are going to grab the driver of the 77, Tyler the Weapon Evans, bring him into... We'll dial him up, see if we can get a hold of him while he is exiting out. See how things are going for him. Let's bring him in dial him up, get him to a quick chat. Tyler Evans, Jake Fescannon up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm enjoying a pretty good race so far. It's been very interesting from this perspective. How has it been from your perspective inside the 77 Pepsi machine tonight?
It's been a really fun race so far. We're just trying to keep it clean and just really just stay out of trouble. There's a lot of good drivers in here tonight and a lot of drivers that are all over the place. So it's a good mix, and we're all having a lot of fun out here. Me and James East are helping each other out a little bit, trying to get it done.
Yeah, it's always great to have teammates when you're able to work together in the draft. How do you feel about the payouts? Have they influenced some of the drivers' moves out there, or do you think everybody's driving with their heads so far tonight?
I'll tell you what, man, and it makes your palms a little bit sweatier when you're racing for a payout like that. So I think a couple of guys will get a little aggressive towards the end. You can almost expect to see that at Daytona. So try to hang back a little bit and avoid that last big one and maybe end up in a payout position.
Well, certainly good luck to you. You've been running a good race so far. We'll look forward to seeing how you finish. Maybe get to talk to you in the booth at the end for a podium interview. Good luck the rest of your race.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
And we are getting the field gridded up for the restart. They've got 25 to go. Now there'll be 24 to go when they get to the line. Reset the top 10 for you. We've got the 04 or 37 of Larry McDonald on the inside, leading field the green. 04 Matthew Lee on the outside. Max Brady, the 57 on the inside. 9 of Matthew Baker on the outside. The 5 Dalton McKinney behind him. 56 of Josh Bonwell lining up behind him. We've got the 19 of Buddy Pitts on the inside. Kevin Clark on the 31 on the outside, Josh Summers in the 24 on the inside, and the 17 of Steven Sinopos on the outside. So pace car is going to be pulling off momentarily. Get you see the pace car diving on the pit road. The 37 of Larry McDonald chooses to get a quick start, rolling as fast as he can. I'm not sure if that was the best move on his part. You do not want to get too far ahead, as the rest of the field with the draft can certainly catch you and go blowing by you like you're sitting still. 37's got some serious damage to the rear end. Doesn't seem like it kicked the spoiler up too much. Shouldn't hurt him too bad, but just as I say that, you can see the 57 of Max Brady lined up with the draft just blowing by them on the outside. 37 of McDonald's going to be a sitting duck. 5 of Dalton Kenny's going to pull up behind him, but he's going to realize how slow he is, try to get to that outside lane and work by him. Focus back on the front, as you can see the 57 of Max Brady leading the 04 of Matthew Lee. Just as that, Matthew Lee jumps to the outside to pull in front of the 9 of Matthew Baker. The 31 of Kevin Clark is going to line up behind the 57 of Brady. It's going to give him a push. They're going to go 2 by 2 right there for the top 4 positions. 5 Dalton McKinney drops to the inside. 56 of Josh Bonwell lining up on the outside behind Baker. They're going to get 2 by 2 again as the field works through. Got a 3 wide moment going into turn 3. And a pan back, that looks like that's near the 17 of Steven Sinopos. He's just in front of there. You can see the 40 of Braxton DeWeese, one of Chris McCullough on the outside. Moving back through the field, we've got the 87 of Rittenmer. He's on the middle of that 3 wide move, just on the inside of Sinopos. He's on the inside. Oh, the one of McCullough brushing the wall slightly. You can see a little bit of sparks there. They are 3 wide, multiple rows. Make that 3 rows right there. We're going to keep it on this, as this is an intense battle in the middle. The 19 of Buddy Pitts running right in the middle. He almost gets into the 37 of Larry McDonald. These drivers are trying to hang on. 3 wide is certainly possible here. And just like that, we get a caution. So that's going to bring a pause in the reaction. I think a lot of these drivers were very anxious with what was going on there. So we will get you the replay momentarily, see what happened. Looks like Colton Malone may have had a moment there. I'm going to pull that up for you. All right, we're going to be looking in the back of the pack at the 32 of Colton Malone. He just comes down across the nose there. You're going to see him get turned as they go through the start-finish line. I think that was all on Colton, just maybe not sure he was quite clear yet. Coming down, looks like he came across the 41 of Keaton Roach. And with him sliding right through in the middle, even though the field cleared, that's going to bring out the caution. Be working our 5th caution of the night. 21 laps to go. See if anybody elects to come in again for fuel and tires, or if they elect to stay out, given that it had been so short since the last run. Get back to the leader there. Max Brady is still your scored leader, as they are working lap 50 or 60 right now. So it's been about 6 laps since these drivers have pitted last. We'll see if any of them elect to come onto pit road. Got a couple takers on pit road. Looks like Larry McDonald elects to come in. The 06 of David Sheets is also in. 42 of Daracels is in. It's a few takers on pit road. Looks like most of the field that elected to stay out. Most of the field staying out. So I think with show a few laps on their tires, I think most of the drivers are choosing to stay out. Not burning off too much fuel. Most of them should be able to go the rest of the way on fuel. So a lot of drivers are going to maintain that track position, value that over pitting. See if we can dial up the driver of the 355, James East, get him in here, get him on the line for a minute. Take 1 second to pull him on the line. James East, Jake Fescannon up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, Jake.
So that last run there, we saw some 3 wide that looked a bit crazy out there. Were you in the middle of that, or how did you view that from your perspective inside the cockpit of the 355 machine?
20th after that pit stop right now. I'm kind of taking it easy and watching what some of these guys do. I think some of the guys are having a problem with car controls. I don't know why, if maybe they're on controllers or what it is, but you got to give a little bit of extra room to some of the guys. And some of the guys we see every week, you know, like Matt Lee, the McCullough family, Braxton, who's out here. Like, those are guys you can trust to be around and push, but some of the guys real sketchy. So we're kind of picking our passes as carefully as we can.
Yeah, we just spoke with the 77 Tyler Evans the last caution. He was saying you two are working together. You find it be very beneficial to have a teammate out there that you trust, that you feel like you can work well with?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And a lot of these guys too, like the usual suspects, I broadcast their usual Monday league here at FEG. So even from a broadcasting point of view, you kind of get a feeling for all the drivers, even when you're not necessarily in the car. And to be fair, like I'm a broadcaster, not a racer, but it still picks up a lot of data and helps me figure things out as well. And should be interesting, as I think Evans and I are starting side by side, 19th and 20th for this probably not final restart, but we're getting closer.
Well, good luck out there. We'll let you focus back in, formulate your strategy, and get a good rest of the finish to the race. So good luck out there. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you all the fans for tuning in, and all the FEG PC family. I appreciate everybody.
Well said. Good luck.
Thanks, sir.
All right, you can see the field is getting lined up 2 by 2 for their restart. Going to recap the front runners for you. We got the 57 of Matt Lee starting on the inside of the 04 of, or excuse me, 57 of Max Brady on the inside of the 04 of Matthew Lee. 31 of Kevin Clark on the inside of the 9 of Matthew Baker. 5 of Dalton McKinney on the inside of the 40 of Braxton DeWeese. And we've got the 56 of Bondwell lining up on the inside of the 1 of Kristen McCullough. Pace car is going to be pulling off momentarily. Field's going to get green flag with 18 to go. We'll see if Brady elects to go quite as early as we saw the 37 of Larry McDonough go, or if you're going to see a difference in strategy. Field is off, and they are back to green. Max Brady leads them on the inside as they cross the start-finish line. 18 laps to go. Working lap 63 of 80 tonight. You can see, again, 2 by 2. Looks like that's about 5 rows deep. A couple cars straggling there in the middle trying to figure out which lane they want to go with. It's getting to be about that time you're going to want to find your drafting partner who you feel like you can run well with, that you trust, as James East was saying there. Somebody that you think can push you up to the front, not put you in any precarious positions, as you're certainly close enough that you don't want to run a risk of losing the car yet. Looks like the 31 of Kevin Clark's given the 57 of Max Brady a good shove as they work their way out of turn 4 into the tri-oval. Still a great run on the outside there, led by the 04 Matthew Lee and the 9 of Matthew Baker. Those two have been working nose to tail for much of the night. I'm sure if they haven't had trust already in each other, they're building it now. The field is 2 by 2 for multiple rows. Top 20 are all within a second of each other. 57 of Brady getting a little bit of a lead on that inside line, but just as I say that, the outside line led by the 04 of Matthew Lee getting a good push, trying to get that momentum to get back alongside. They're about half a car length back as they work their way through turn 3 and 4. Good shove there by the 9 of Matthew Baker on the 04 Matthew Lee. Is going to push him to the lead that time by score. It is the 04 in the front, but the 57 of Brady certainly not going to give up that fight at all. Field's running right around 190 miles an hour as they work their way through the middle of turn 1 and 2. Now onto the backstretch. Inside row led by Brady's getting a good run. Seems like off of turn 2 is where they can pull their best momentum, but then coming down the backstretch, the 9 of Baker and the 04 of Lee are able to get a good run on the outside and try to build some of that momentum up, work their way through 3 and 4, try to pull even. Can certainly see some guys are content to ride, other guys might be looking a little antsy. 5 of Dalton McKinney looking like he's trying to find a way around. 15 to go. Drivers are entering the closing stages. I think you're probably going to see another 7 or 8 laps, and then really some aggressive moves are going to start happening as drivers are going to work their way to start moving forward, especially the drivers that are in the back of this lead pack. Remember, it is the top 5 positions being paid out tonight. So certainly anybody behind that is going to be positioning themselves as best they can to make a run. The drivers that are in the top 5 are probably going to be looking to improve themselves as best as they can. But a great battle up front here is you've got the 57 of Brady being pushed by the 31 of Kevin Clark, and on the outside you've got the 04 of Matthew Lee being pushed by the 9 of Matthew Baker. Both trusting themselves quite well. 2 by 2 all the way back. Great runs by these drivers. Oh, just like that, we've got a spin there. We'll see if that brings out a caution. It looks like that was the 34 of Aaron Roth getting turned. A few more cars being collected. That's going to bring out our 6th caution for the night. Let's get a replay of that. Looks like that was going to be the 34 of Aaron Roth and the 06 of David Sheets. Let's see what happened there. Pull up the replay. You're going to see the 34 of Aaron Roth already being turned. Get that round for you just a little bit. That full speed. Whew, that was certainly a brutal one for sure. See if we can pull up a little bit of a different view there. Look at it from the perspective of David Sheets. See what happened to David Sheets in the 06. Believe he's gonna get involved in this. He checked up for that wreck, got into the outside wall there, and he's going to give another shot to the 34 of Roth, and that's going to send him up the track. So a few cars involved in that one. Certainly a bit of calamity out there. You might see some more as the race goes on, but we are going to jump back to the lead. Working our 6th caution of the night. Again, the ticker is going to be slightly off for you. It is the 6th caution, not the 4th for tonight. Gonna give these guys a little bit of a break to be able to catch their breath. We'll see if anybody elects to come into pit road. Looks like we may have a taker or two, possibly. Most of the field staying out front. Pit road may not be open yet. I don't know if guys are going to want to give up track position yet or if they're going to wait. Looks like a couple of them might be. So let the field sort out. We'll get that lined up for you. As the field comes to the closing laps of this event. Reminder again, big thank you for everybody tuning in, cheering on their favorite drivers. The drivers certainly appreciate that. A lot of them go back and watch this, or they'll have it pulled up on a secondary screen. They appreciate all of you tuning in. Everybody here at FEG, PC, and Team Goon Squad, certainly thank you for coming out and tuning in tonight. Getting to see a very exciting race. Events here at Talladega for the FEG series are always super exciting. Great racing, great finishes. Good chance for these drivers too to get their experience on super speedways, be able to cut their teeth on some of these, prepare for other leagues or series that they may be running in. Let's see if Field's going to be lining up as they have the one to go. Field's going to be getting lined up 2 by 2 again. Be restarting with 10 to go, so they'll be on lap 91. Or excuse me, not 91. They will be restarting on 71. I apologize for that. Recap your top 5 restarting. It's going to be 57 of Brady on the inside, 04 of Matthew Lee on the outside second. Third's going to be the 9 of Matthew Baker on the outside. It's going to be the 31 of Kevin Clark. And Dalton McKinney in the 5 is going to be restarting in 5th. Fields working their way through turn 3 and 4. Pace car will be pulling off this time by to unleash the field. See the pace car make the hard left this time as they approach the pit lane. We'll see if the 57 elects to go sooner or if he chooses to wait. And field is off and rolling, 10 to go. Field's working their way up through the gearbox. Inside lines being led by the 57 of Max Brady, the outside line being led by the 04 of Matthew Lee. Inside line seems to be just a little bit more formed than the outside line. A little bit of a gap there between the 40 of Braxton DeWeese and the 03 of Kenneth McCullough Jr. But certainly both lines formed well and ready to make their run towards the front. I think in a few laps you're going to start seeing some guys from the back try to work their way up, and we may see some more 3-wide action. Just as we say that, you can see the 03 of Kenneth McCullough working his way to the inside. We've got 3 wide, 2 rows deep right here. We're going to focus on the 03 of McCullough in the middle of that as he's leading the charge in the middle lane. Looks like the 40 of Braxton DeWeese is going to get hung up there. You can see him falling back through. He was on that outside line. He gets himself sorted back in there. So we go back 2 wide, 2 by 2. Get back to the front as you got the 57 leading that inside line of Max Brady, 04 of Matthew Lee on the outside line leading that. Everybody's looking to start making their moves. One of Kristen McCullough on the outside there. He's trying to link up with the 03 of Kenneth McCullough, push them through as they were trying to work the outside line. Now put what was the outside line to the middle. And just as I say that, we've got another caution. It's like Thomas Teagan in the 64 was involved. Let's take a look and see what happened here. Bring up the replay. You can see the 43 gets loose there, gets turned by the 8. The 64 of Teagan was already on his way around as well. Looks like 2 separate incidents there that happened. Another car getting slammed. Oh, that is the 25 of Ray Holman getting turned. A couple cars being collected there through that one. Seems like everybody in the front of the pack was able to survive that one, so not too many issues. 25 of Holman coming down. You can see him getting clobbered by the 23 of Stephen Boyton as they were exiting the corner. So certainly a very end of the race timed caution. So focus back to the front. 8 to go right now. Field is lining up behind the pace car. We'll see if there's going to be any takers on pit road this time by. I don't know if you're going to see many guys that are not in the back of the pack or not involved in that caution entering pit road. I think with 7 to go, it is certainly going to be every man for himself. Guys are not going to want to give up that track position. They're going to want to be looking to stay up front as best as they can and position themselves for a good finish. May see some guys like the 04 of Matthew Lee running down low in an effort to try to shorten the track, try to save a little bit of fuel. They may be a bit close on fuel as we work our 7th caution of the evening. It's definitely going to get the field group back together and bring about a very exciting finish. The drivers are working lap 74. They'll be coming across the line to start lap 75. Field's getting the one to go this time. By lights are out on the pace car. They're going to get formed up. Double file for the restart. They're going to be restarting on lap 76, so they'll have 5 to go. Get the field reset for you. We got the 57 of Max Brady in first. 04 Kevin Lee on the outside of him in second. 9 of Matthew Baker on the inside in third. 31 of Kevin Clark on the outside in fourth. We've got the 03 of Kenneth McCullough in 5th, Chad Ross in the 38 on the outside in 6th, Dalton McKenney in 7th in the 5, Braxton DeWeese is to his outside in 8th in the 40. One of Christopher McCullough is going to be restarting in 9th on the inside, and the 56 of Josh Bonwell will be restarting on the outside of row 5 in 10th. We'll see if the drivers can work the last 5 laps under green to finish this event out, or if there are going to be any late race cautions. Saying cautions brings cautions does seem to be fairly true for this event, meaning that when one happens, usually another one will happen in quick succession. I'm sure for the drivers of the front to feel like they have control, a late race caution would not be the most timely thing, but everybody in the back who wants a shot at this may be praying for another one if they can avoid it and move past some of their competitors. Pace car is going to be pulling off this time by. Get the field unleashed for the next restart. 57 of Max Brady gets on the gas, leads the field across the line. 5 to go. See if anybody's going to wait to build up the momentum before they pull out of line, or if we're going to see some aggressive moves starting to happen now. There's 5 to go. Oh, we've got a big wreck back there. The 17 flying through the air. That's Steven Sinopais just flying through the air. You can see that. We'll try to close back there. Oh, looks like the 355 of East may have been in all that. The 77 of Tyler Evans. That was certainly a wicked shot. You could see him flying through the air. Let's take a look and see what happened in that one. All right, you're going to see the 77 of Sinopais getting turned. He goes across the track, gets into the 19. It's going to get him into the 25, sends him down, and that's when he's flying through the air. A couple cars underneath. Looks like the 77 into the 355. They turn both. 77 flipping through the air, landing on his lid, sliding down the banking of the middle of turn 1. Cars scattering everywhere to avoid this. Other cars collecting into that there, as you can see. Certainly, the 77 continues to barrel roll his way around. Somehow manages to land on all 4s, but certainly a crazy move there. Late race caution, certainly. That's again what can happen. As you can see, he's sitting on pit road for repairs. We'll get back up to the front of the field and get that sorted out for you. Looks like a few cars from that wreck involved 19 of Buddy Pitts, 355 of James East, both on pit road. 17 of Stevenson and plus 37 of Larry McDonald's, 24 of Chris Summers, all on pit road seeking repairs. Certainly going to be an interesting finish. All right, most of the field has chosen to stay out, at least most of your top 20. Got a couple drivers in the top 20 that stopped on some of the most recent cautions, but for the most part, everybody all under the caution that came out on lap 53. So we're going to be setting up a good finish for you here as we work the 8th caution of the night. I'm sure that is not what the 57 of Max Brady wanted to see. Field should be getting the one to go this time by. A couple drivers you can see running that apron may be a bit close on field, but these cautions should have been able to help them save as well. Pace car is going to be coming across the line. Lights are out. We're going to be getting the field lined back up. We are going to be going for our first green-white checker attempt, so if anybody's new here and is unfamiliar with that, basically what's going to happen is the first lap, when the pace car pulls off, you're going to get the green flag. They're going to complete that lap, come across the line to get the white flag for one more to go, and then they will receive the checkered as the third flag if no incidents happen within that period of those 2 laps. So it's going to show 3 to go this time by, and when they come across to get the green, we'll have 2 to go. It's certainly going to be a intense restart. I think you're going to see guys try to work their way up to speed as they run through the tri-oval and then into 1 and 2, and after they get off of turn 2, people are going to start making their moves, starting to look. Anybody that's out of the top 5 is going to be looking their way towards the top 5, and anybody that's in the top 5 may be looking to move their way towards the front. But it will certainly be a very interesting finish, to say the least. Field's working their way out of turn 4. Pace car is going to be pulling off, getting ready to go green. 57 of Max Brady gets on the throttle, leading the field across the start-finish line. 2 to go. Already see one car starting to look to the high side. Got 3 wide back there, but let's focus on the battle up front. The 57 of Max Brady moves to the high side to pull in front of Baker, and that allows the 04 of Matthew Lee to work his way down the front, and we've got another caution. Looks like Dylan Wallace has had a bit of a problem. So we're going to rack the field back up again. See if we can take a look at what happened to the 15 machine of Dylan Wallace. Pull that up. See the 15 there. He's just working his way up the track. Bit of contact. Oh, looks like he just gets turned. So he gets sent across. Not sure if that was the 31. No, excuse me. Might have gotten turned by the 42 there. So he goes up the track. Sliding across with him being in front of the racing line. That's what's going to bring out the caution there. So a bit of a moment. Going to have to re-rack everybody. I believe that might have been the 42 of Daracels that made contact with the 15 of Wallace, sending him around. Get focused back on the leader. It's going to be the 57 of Brady. iRacing's going to score him in the lead. Get him racked back up again. Another green-white checker attempt, working our 9th caution for the race. Field's going to be catching back up to the pace car out of the tri-oval. Looks like a few cars on pit road. Certainly, I would say anybody that's within the top 10 to top 12, this next restart has a shot at trying to move their way in position for a win. It's going to be tough for anybody back further than that to really have a shot, but certainly not out of the realm of possibility. But definitely going to be a exciting finish for sure. Like some of these drivers on the front would wish this is over a little bit sooner than others in the back. Other drivers in the back that aren't in that top 5 may be praying for a few more of these to try to get themselves a shot to get up there. Walk away a little bit of cash for their efforts in the evening. Phil gets the 1 to go this time by Bites out on the pace car. They're going to get girded up 2 by 2. We will let them get sorted out and get the front of the running order reset for you. 57 of Max Brady is going to be restarting in first. 04 Matthew Lee is going to be to his outside. 9 of Matthew Baker are going to be restarting in third. 38 of Chad Ross is going to be on the outside. 31 of Kevin Clark on the inside. 40 of Braxton DeWeese going to be restarting the outside. Got the 56 of Bronwell on the inside. Dalton McKenney in the 5 is going to be on the outside. And then you've got Kenneth McCullough, the 03, lined up on the inside of the 1 of Christopher McCullough. That's going to be your top 10. They are going to be going green next time by. Start it all over again for the green-white checker process. See if they need any more attempts than this to complete the race under green, or if they're going to be able to complete it this time. Again, we're working our 9th caution of the event tonight, the FEG PC Saturday Night Muddy Race. Pace car is going to be pulling off the racing surface this time by, headed to pit road. Field to be getting ready to go green. Let's see when the 57 of Brady elects to get restarted. And he is on the throttle, working his way up through the gears as they are going to cross the start-finish line. Green flag's out again, 2 laps to go in this event. He quickly jumps to the high line to pull in front of the 04 of Matthew Lee. They try to take advantage of that push on the outside, see if they can pull away from the 9 of Matthew Baker. Just as I say that, the 31 of Kevin Clark gives the 9 of Matthew Baker a great shot to the front. You can see they're going to be side by side as they come off of turn 2. One car almost in the wall. Third lane trying to form on the outside. That's about 4 rows back. Looks like that's going to be the 03 of Kenneth McCullough and the 1 of Christopher McCullough on the outside. Those two have been hooking up in the late stages of this race to try to get there. You can see they're outside of the 38 of Chad Ross and the 40 of Braxton DeWeese working their way around, but Matthew Baker leads the race. Oh, we've got a big wreck in the front. 31 of Kevin Clark with an issue. Oh, we've got more cars tumbling. Oh, carnage across the start-finish line in the tri-oval. The final lap. White flag is out. Pace car is going to pull out. Wow, what a wreck at the front. What a wreck at the front. That looked like that was the 31 of Kevin Clark. We are definitely going to pull that up, and that looks like that is going to call the race as the field took the white flag. As soon as they crossed, that was the next flag was going to end the race. Certainly going to take a look at that one. Let's see what happened. That was a very, very, very crazy finish. Let's see if we can pull that up for you here. Just one moment to find that. All right, see if we can get a little bit of a better view of that. All right, so you can see 31 was already in. This is a big wreck in the front stretch crossing the start-finish line. We're looking at the 67 of Greg Wood in this as he's going around. He's in the black and white car there. You can see the carnage behind is basically the whole back half of the field's collected in that. The 57 of Max Brady also involved in that one. Certainly a very hectic finish for sure. You're going to have just carnage everywhere. That was kind of to be expected coming to the white flag. Guys were going to be pushing as hard as they could. We are going to come back to the 9 of Baker, your race leader. Focus on that. Looks like 9 of Matthew Baker is going to be scored your winner. 56 of Bronwell in second, and the 04 of Lee third. All right, give us just a moment. We're going to talk with our front 3 finishers. just a minute. We will get the 04 of Matthew Lee in the booth. All right, we are going to bring the 04 of Matthew Lee into the booth. Matthew Lee, driver of the 04, third place finisher tonight. How was that run for you tonight?
Yeah, that was a pretty good race for us. Had a lot of fun working with Matt and Max there. Yeah.
It seemed like you guys were pretty hooked up most of the race. Was that kind of a pre-planned strategy that you had tonight for the event? Did you guys talk about that before, or was that something you kind of just formulated as you were working your way through the laps tonight?
Yeah, definitely plan on working with those guys. I mean, when you get a couple guys you trust like that, I mean, it just makes these races go a lot smoother.
Yeah, buddies definitely certainly help out there. It was pretty hectic towards the end. Seemed like a lot of cautions that happened in this session. Do you think that helped you keep yourself up towards the front and have a better shot at the top three, or did you want to see that go green the rest of the way?
I'd have liked to seen it stay green there. I mean, cautions bring cautions, and you know, as you kind of saw there at the end with Max getting taken out, you know, it's kind of just crap gets pretty hairy. So.
Well, you certainly did a great job running up front all night. Your car seemed to be in good control. Anybody you want to thank tonight before we let you go for the evening?
Yeah, just a big shout out to Max Brady there and Matthew Baker, and big shout out to the guys at Martin Sports. Anyone looking for some sim racing gloves, jerseys, anything like that, check them out over at martinsports906.com. All the guys at Nerditudes, Shenandoah Shine, Moonlight, Setup Shop. You guys for doing the broadcast last minute. And Jeff for putting these on every weekend.
Certainly great job out there. Congrats on the podium finish, and look forward to seeing you in more of these and up front in future finishes. Great finish tonight.
Appreciate it, Jacob.
All right, with that, we are going to see if we can get the 56 of Josh Bonwell into the booth. Give him a moment, see if we're able to get a hold of him. If not, we will move to the race winner if we're not able to catch him. Give him just a minute to see if he's available. I know some drivers post-race commitments they attend to. All right, we are going to pull in our race winner, Matthew Baker. Just a minute. Get Matthew Baker in. All right, I am joined in the booth by our race winner driver of the 9, Matthew Baker. Matthew, how was that run out there for you tonight?
It was good. I felt like we were pacing the field well there the whole time, and Matthew and Max and I were, pacing the field and getting it done. Just hoping to fight it out between them in that last lap.
Certainly seemed
it ended that way.
It certainly seemed like you were one of the class of the field. Seemed like you were working really well with the 04 Matthew Lee for most of the race. You guys were running nose to tail a lot. Do you guys run a lot with each other, trust each other in the draft?
I just feel like we always get together in these races. You know, we don't have like any chats or anything, but we always seem to find each other and work well together. So usually the good people find the front here.
Yeah, it certainly helps to have buddies out there that you trust and can be comfortable around. Did you have any kind of pre-planned strategy going into this, deciding on what kind of moves you wanted to make or when you want to make them, or did you just kind of fly by the wire and see how the race unfolded?
I feel like hugging the bottom a lot was the place to be, especially when the runs would come on the outside. You had someone to push you on the bottom side coming out of two. You're usually gonna clear that top line, so you're in a pretty good position on the bottom.
And it seemed to be a little bit of a green flag run there. We got towards the middle section of the race. That last end seemed to be having a lot of cautions coming out in succession quickly to each other. Was that playing into your strategy and what you wanted to see, or did you want to see one long green flag run there at the end to be able to finish that out?
Well, I would have liked to see green flag stop, but definitely once it got within 60, I was fine with all the cautions because we're going to stay up front and no one's really going to get by us there. And because we were pushing way too good up front, I feel like the class of the field was up front the whole day, and we pulled out that P1.
Certainly seemed to keep you in the best spot to stay out of danger and bring yourself to a win. Great run out there. Anybody you want to give a shout out to tonight or thank you before we let you go for the evening?
Yeah, just shout out to Coasting Thunder. They always make my schemes look pretty good. Warrior Raps are putting on the schemes, and then shout out to MBG Motorsports and my family watching at home. Thanks to Matthew for pushing me to another win, and the Matthew squad wins again.
Certainly a great job tonight. Great driving. Glad to see you in the front and look forward to seeing you in more of these events in the front as well. Great talking to you. Nice drive tonight, Matthew.
Thanks for putting on the broadcast.
Certainly. All right, we will pull up the results, get a quick rundown for you here. All right, so you can see sorry about the delay. We got to finish out our top 10. You had, again, the 9 of Matthew Baker winning, 56 of Josh Bondwell in second, the 04 of Matthew Lee in third, 5 of Dalton McKinney comes home in fourth, Max Brady in the 57 after the wreck comes home in fifth, 38 of Chad Roth finishing sixth, Christopher McCullough in seventh, Kenneth McCullough in the 03 brings it home at eighth, 40 of Braxton Ruiz brings it home in ninth, and James East, after that incident, able to recover and work his way back to the front, finish in 10th place. Want to thank all of you for tuning in tonight. Certainly had a great time tonight. Very hectic finish there, but no lack of action, as is always the case with these races. Again, we thank all the drivers for joining, everybody for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you for the next one. Until the next time, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Racing and FEGPC.net, my name is Jacob Fiscannon, and we're